So we callin' blitz, ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and him talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field. And our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Podium podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes.
You treading lightly. Hey, it's gonna be some sodium. I think
the all truth,
mostly no sodium.
Yeah. Okay, all right. That's fair. That's fair. Listen, we are sponsored by Ree's Tea. Bow right there on the screen. All right, the best tasting tea in town. If you have not checked them out yet, what are you waiting for? Right? Soon as you get in there and click the link in our description, it takes you right to the page. They're going to ask you how you heard about them. Make sure you let them know it was us so we can get credit for it, please. Thank you very much.
How many ingredients?
Fizzor.
4. And I bet none of those are sodium.
No. I like that. I like that. That was good. You came with it today. You came ready. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's start with stuff we heard. There's a bunch of stuff today, but not all of it was like huge. You know what I'm saying?
Well, first thing I heard was Matt need to stop being in denial. When you sick, you sick. And today, my friend, you sick. Just your month. You got what? You got 11 days, my friend. 11 days is the last year of a decade. Enjoy it. And take some Robitussin.
Wait, is he so like he just said his throat was hurting, right?
You know how Mel is. I'm not sick. My arm's just slightly hanging on by a thread, but I'm good. Right. Don't worry about it. We're good.
All right, fair enough. Okay. All right, so what are we starting off with today? Wait. First off. Just so everybody knows, I am actually working the cameras right now. So if it turns out crappy today, y'all can throw all the hate mail at me.
Nope. This man is talented.
No.
That is talent. You ever played the piano and sang? I haven't. That's what he's doing right now.
It's not easy. I actually have had to do that before. And I had to do it like while I was still learning to play the piano too.
Nope.
Like nope.
I can't play the piano and I can't sing. So imagine me trying that.
Listen, anybody can sing though. Anybody.
I mean, I could sing something, but nothing y'all gonna hear. So anyway, did we say who we were? I don't think I did.
I think no, we did not. Wow.
40 keys up in the bizzle.
Yeah. We didn't get any of that because I didn't switch to you.
It's all right. They heard it jing-a-ling-a-ling.
We gonna get through this. All right, we gonna get through it.
At any rate, yeah, no. You want to start with what you got? You got something on your mind?
Nothing special in particular. So I do want to get into today specifically, just a kind of a brief overview of this matchup coming up Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. Because what I've seen so far is something that I am. And everybody's probably going to be like, yeah, I'm not surprised, but something that I'm actually a little nervous about when it comes to what I think is going to happen on Sunday, right? And I think it's very different from what I've heard a lot of Bills fans say today, which is blowouts. Like people are expecting to hang 40 on these boys. And
okay,
you don't think so?
40. I got 40 keys. I don't know if they got 40 points. We got to see. I was just, what's funny about it? I was talking to my friend about this, and he was like, Key, what do you think about this team? I'm like, I don't know. I gotta wait till 4:00 on Sunday to tell you what I think we are.
Right.
Right now, there's no sample size. Everything looks good on paper, everything, or bad, however you want to look at it. But we didn't see anything. We didn't see the scheme. We haven't seen really the scheme last year because he came in and kind of did a holdover job. We didn't see Josh. We didn't see Josh with Steph because Steph isn't here anymore. We didn't see Josh with Dalton because Josh didn't play. And we don't have a sample size of Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, MVS, Mac Hollins, all the guys that we got in here now. There's no sample size. So for us to say 40 burger, that's presumptuous. That's real presumptuous based on something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think at the very most, or I should say at the very best, this defense is athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way down the middle. Like their corners, You know, they got that young guy that they just Max Melton. Is that he was drafted this year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I, you know, when I was looking at the team as a whole, I'm saying to myself, most of these guys are under 30. I think the two oldest guys they have are Buda Baker and their linebacker opposite Zaven Collins, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's 30. I was just looking at this not that long ago, but it's kind of a young, you know, up and their defense. Like, do you want to just get into it now, or
Sure,
how do you
let's do it. But
okay.
before we do
All
that, I got you got the comments up?
As much as I can see, I can't see the bottom because I got to keep the cameras up.
Dang. Okay. I was gonna play the Steve versus Steve game.
Oh, you got something?
This has become a must-watch podcast for me. Appreciate you guys and your work. It's bills, but it's fun and entertaining at the same time. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you. Okay. And that was Steve number 1, right?
Steve Noble.
Steve, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Greatly appreciate that.
And Bully wants us to know that 2K drops tomorrow.
That's a you thing.
I'm so mad that I didn't get into 2K24 like I wanted to.
Junie's been to you know what it is. You know what it is for me. It's I would never live a life outside of the house if I ever really got.
Oh, you play that My Player? It's over with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would never do anything else. I would be so engulfed in, and all my money would be going to it. Like, I would just. And the funny part about it is none of that stuff transfers over to the next year.
Nope.
Every single time you buy a new game, you got to start all over.
That's why I don't buy any VC. I'd grind it out, man. My dude, but I make my dude true to form. When I finished, he was like a 69. But this man, they clown me when I get up. I got the brown outfit on everything. They clown me till I run with them. Yo, who is this dude getting rebounds on everybody? Why is he blocking everybody's shots? Because that's how I built my dude. Don't look at my overall. I built him how I play.
Right.
Don't do that.
I could just imagine you rolling out there with a hoodie and the same jeans they put you in college with.
Yep. With the 2K sneakers on. Oh, the 2Ks. Yes, sir. Those are the EA Sports version of Payless.
So what's the most expensive shoe you've ever bought on there? Like, not with VC, but like,
never bought a shoe. I go with my endorsements. Whatever free shoes they give me is the ones I wear.
Have you ever gotten a shoe made? Like, you know how you could design one.
Mm-hmm. They give it to you when you sign with them. They give you one, and that's the one I wear.
Holy
I don't know where the stores are. They got Adidas stores. They got this store. I'm like, I'm just gonna bypass that and go to practice.
Wow.
Yeah, I told you I'm true to form. I do be looking homely. I am the one to put a knee brace on him. I got to wear a knee brace in real life, and he ain't even got one because I got to pay for it. Not doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow. All right.
This dude is cheap.
Oh my gosh. All right. So I got some notes here.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna gauge the room because we talked a little bit about this before we started today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Khalil Shakir named his top 3 receivers.
Okay.
Right. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So he was on with Eric Wood on the Center on Buffalo podcast, right? Okay. And he named his top 3 receivers, his preference, right? I'm trying to see where exactly he ranked them. I don't want to have to listen to it, but I was listening to it on the way here, and then my wife was saying something to me, and I don't remember how it goes. But his top 3 are CeeDee Lamb,
okay,
Jamar Chase,
okay,
Keenan Allen. Like over everybody else.
I don't want to know why, but okay. Maybe he grew up. Well, how old is Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen was about
30.
Let's say.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be 30, 31. So Khalil Shakir is 25. Nah, it doesn't work. I'm going to say he grew up watching him. Maybe he likes the way he played, but I would think like I don't know.
Yeah, the way he was saying it, it sounded like Keenan Allen was like his number 1. But I and I think I agree with where you were gonna land eventually, which was their games are similar.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think if that's who Shakir is modeling his game after, I'm all for it.
As long as he's not hurt.
Why you say that?
Because Keenan Allen likes to get hurt. As long as that doesn't happen, we're good. Just model the other stuff, just not the injury component.
Right.
Just don't do that.
All right. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. If the Bills had ever traded for Keenan Allen, I think that would have been something I would have, and it would have depended on the money.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Honestly, if the Bills would have traded for Keenan Allen any time in the last 3-4 years, because I would say that's probably when he was most available is when the team wasn't really that competitive, right?
Okay.
Would you take that? I mean, for the money?
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna hold my thoughts on that because you said a word that's gonna make me rage, and I'm trying to think of how Mel phrased it last week. It's gonna be a lot of people that hate me right now
because we could have had him.
Because I have a rage point that you kind of triggered, but I'm gonna let it live for now. Let it live for now.
All right. So, moving right along. So let's hop into this Cardinal stuff. Because I don't have a lot of stuff we heard. So we'll just dive into this, and I think that'll pretty much carry us into whatever we want to. So,
and Billy Williams said Allen or D Hop. Either or, he's saying.
Oh, in terms of like he wouldn't mind trading for either one.
Right. Probably within the same parameters the last 3-4 years you're talking about. So that would encompass when he was available and everybody wanted him. You know, like, what was that, last year? More or less 2 years ago.
Would you take Jamar Chase?
Like, pennies?
Huh?
Pennies?
I'm saying he's trying to get paid right
pennies?
Now.
I'm calling him pennies. You know why, right?
Pennies. No.
Yeah. You know what he said?
No.
He wants to get paid 1 cent more than Justin Jetta. He wants to get paid 1 penny more than Jefferson.
But his numbers are not better than Jefferson's.
He don't care. He wants to get paid 1 penny more than Jetta. Now, what I didn't know was this, and I mean, neither here nor there. His base salary is $5 million, not base salary. His salary this year is $5 million. Mm-hmm. T. Higgins is $21 million. So of course he's like, yo, no, I want my money now. Even though you're only 3 years in, you know, but I guess in at the end of the contract, he'll be at, you know, at that 35 million. They're gonna make that kind of money by then.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess he wants it now. He wants to lock it in. I don't know if that's a smart move. I mean, in the short sight it is. But you think about if you hold out and exhaust your contract, you probably make more per year unless you get hurt or something like that. And that's why I say the caveat of whether it's smart or not. If he gets hurt, he loses the money. But if he plays his contract out, the rookie deal, he's probably going to make more than whatever he thinks he's going to make now.
Well, for his history in the NFL so far, I think he's had like three injuries that have kind of kept him out of games so far. I wouldn't want to risk that. You know what I mean? Like I'm always for players getting paid, especially when they come in and produce like that on rookie contracts.
Right.
Like you should definitely get paid. No question about it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But some of this has to do with Cincinnati's history of just not wanting to pay people. Right. And the conundrum they find themselves in now is you got T. Higgins kind of like looking like this, like right over the horizon of the monitors here, looking at Jamar Chase, like you ain't about to get paid before I get paid. I was here first.
Right. Right. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I went out this mother, man. I'm out.
Right, exactly. Like if they pay you but they don't pay me, like I'm lighting this whole joint on fire.
Watch it burn.
Right. Speaking of that, it just triggered my memory here. So if and this is a different topic, I apologize for bouncing around. But if we were to cut Tyler Bass, it's a $7 million cap hit, dead cap hit, right?
Okay. All right. I'm going to rage now. Go ahead. You're giving me free reign to rage in a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead. You've opened up Pandora's box on this one. Oh boy, have you.
So this was an interesting thought that occurred to me before I found out how much his dead cap hit was. But then I had another thought after that. But I'll get to the initial thought, which is, wouldn't it be something if the reason that they signed Tyler Bass to so much money, which is something they've never done for a kicker since I can remember, they've never given a kicker that much money, right? What if part of the reason they gave him that much money is because when he kicked the touchback in the 13 seconds game, and everybody was throwing a fit and blaming him and then blaming the special teams coordinator and all that stuff, he just kept his mouth shut. He didn't say anything. He didn't have a look. They kind of paid him to shut him up. Like, if you do not talk to anybody, if you don't leak anything, you'll get your money, and we'll pay you to just shut the heck up, right? And then when I heard about the dead cap, I'm like, oh well, they could easily justify, well, we're not cutting them because of that,
right?
But then I thought, you just got rid of Steph Diggs for $31 million. So what's 7 more on top of that?
Oh, I'm percolating now, boy. I'm percolating now. I'm about to frizz over the top.
Go ahead, bro.
So let's back up a little bit. I like to gloat here because Laura, our favorite. What's up, PPP? What's going on, Laura? Okay. This is her main fantasy wide receiver. He's irking her nerves. That's music to my ears. That's music to my ears. And Lot Ray, no, we're not cutting Bass, but we're just talking in hypotheticals right now.
Yeah.
But okay. How do I start this? I don't even let me just go down memory lane here. So, like you said, Tyler Bass.
Yep.
We signed him to a big deal for shutting up, basically. Took the fall, whatever. Didn't hang it on McDermott's head that they changed the squib. He didn't say he was a good boy. Okay. So speaking of money that we're pissing away, I'll say it, or should I say tinkling, my uncle?
Oh no.
So did you know this morning we had $440,000 in cap space?
Actually, yes, I did. I found I was listening to the radio and I found out that all that $12 million that we thought we had.
When people gonna listen to me? I told y'all we can't afford them. Whoever you name, we can't afford them. I know this thing was on. Y'all just chose not to listen. So you know we have $2.7 million now, right?
Because they restructured Epinesa and who else?
Daquan Jones.
You look very happy to have heard that.
Who did they sign this year?
AJ Epinesa.
And they gave
Daquan Jones and a new contract.
So you just gave them both new, but now you restructured it already.
Yeah, they got
because you realize I can't afford you. Why?
Well, to be fair, they needed to keep Daquan Jones.
Oh, I know that.
I don't know if they needed to keep Epinesa, but I wanted them.
Well, that's not. That's not. I'm not even mad about that. This is what I'm mad about. Who did we just sign at the end of the free agent at the end of preseason to the 53-man roster, cutting a rookie that does the same thing?
Codrington
is $800,000 against the cap. Now, what is he going to do?
Return kicks.
How many kicks in the game? Well, let's just say Dallas was the highest scoring team last year, right? Yeah. At 29.5 points a game. So that's
about 4.
So okay, 5 with the half and that's assuming he gets them all and returns something, right? So you're paying him $800,000 to return kicks.
Well,
now,
how many kicks a season though? How many kicks is that?
So let's just spitball it. So 17 times 4, that's 68.
Oh, I did 5 because I included the
okay. So yeah,
all
right. So we can do that.
So 85.
85.
Yeah.
Okay, so 85 returns. You're paying him $800,000. Now, what's his true position?
Corner. Nickel corner. Sorry.
Nickel corner.
Yeah.
So they picked him up to be a kick return man only, right? So what happens if Christian Benford does what he usually does? Gets hurt. Taron Johnson has another concussion, which he's had a couple now. Let's be real. Cam Lewis gets hurt. Rasul Douglas gets hurt. What do we do then? Do you not call up Daquan Hardy, said practice squad player that you drafted to be a kick man when you just paid $800,000 for a guy to come in and just field kicks and you're not going to give him a chance to be a cornerback?
But how much is Hardy making right now?
Right now, he makes $225. But if he gets called up, he has to make more because that's not baseline. You got to get a prorated salary.
Right.
So I would much rather have Hardy on the team doing whatever he does for kicks.
100%.
At the same, well, let's see. What's his name? Tylen Grable. He makes $893,000, and that's where he slotted in. I would rather give Daquan Hardy that $893,000, obviously, on in addition to Grable, and not have Codrington, because why? You would have some kind of cap space. You have something, and you also have a functional player that can play cornerback and can field kicks.
Right.
The same 9 if you're counting punts too, if he fields them all in the game.
Right.
So this is the reason why I'm percolating on this kind of stuff is Trent Williams just got a 3-year, $82 million contract. Trent Williams at what, 30, whatever he is,
36.
36. So he's paid until he's 39.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody really think that Brandon Ayuk was going anywhere? I didn't. I thought it was song and dance. But he got the bag.
I thought he might actually go to the Steelers. I really did.
I thought that was it just was too weird to me. I didn't see him doing it. I saw Steelers wanting them, but I didn't see 49ers giving them up. Cam Hayward scored. He just signed a deal. While we're over here pissing around Brandon Codrington's, pissing around guys to replace Von Miller's when he's on the team. EJ Epenesa's, replacement duplicate Daquan Jones's in Austin Johnson. You do all this duplicate stuff, and see, this is when we had our conversation about Mike White versus Trubisky. I'm like, okay. And I mean, I get the point. I'm not saying he's worse than Trubisky. I'm not saying that he's better. All I'm saying is, for what you got to pay this guy, when you just did this stupid thing that you did again, I got to sit here and say, okay, cool. Whatever. Do your thing. I trust you. I trust in Bean. I trust the process.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the process not making sense. And you finally saw what did Malcolm X say? The chickens have come home to roost. This 400. Tell me when the last time you saw the Bills with a $440,000 cap availability. Never. I'll wait ever.
Yeah.
Everybody, when you said, oh, we're going to get that $10 million from trade, I said, no, you don't. I said, no, we won't. You guys have it for now until the 53-man roster becomes what we're looking at. The 51.
That explains why you were looking at me silly last week when I asked y'all, like, is the $12 million burning a hole in your pocket?
Right.
You're like, what $12 million? $12 million.
And that's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like, and I don't expect people to understand, how the caps work. I'm not Greg Thompson. I'm not. And so if you ask me anything crazy, how to build these, ask him, not me. I don't know. I'll try it. But what I can tell you is I take stock in this kind of thing. I'm not really into, the fantasy aspect of just saying, hey, let's get all these guys. My mind automatically goes to how does this work? Because I saw this coming. I want our team to have talent. I want us to have guys. And I look further, and I know I'm kind of going into a rabbit hole here.
Go in.
But if you look at our cap, obviously Josh Allen is the seventh highest cap hit with Mitch Trubisky. All right, so our quarterback room is the 7th highest cap hit. Mm-hmm. Now, the Bills don't pay running backs. But did you know that the Bills have the 4th cheapest running back room? Did you know the Bills have the 3rd cheapest wide receiver room? They have the 11th most expensive tight end room. They have the 7th cheapest offensive line. As long as we have Josh Allen, we're going to win, right?
Wow.
As long as we have Josh, we win, right? This is the thing. It's not about Josh. It's about what we're putting around Josh. It's about the fact that people say, oh, look at this receiving room. We got MVS. We got this. We got they're pulling the wool over your eyes all over again. Obviously, because I've been texting you like crazy. Don't fall for it, and you guys are listening. Don't fall for it. I tell you, but they say we got this. We're gonna do that. But when do you have the audacity to tell me you can afford to go get Brandon Codrington and return 9 kicks? When you have the audacity to tell me that your 6th round draft pick, who was lights out, probably better than Cam Lewis, is a practice squad player that you're going to keep because he doesn't return kicks to your liking.
Yeah, but like, so what I landed on with that, because I try to think in terms of Sean train of thought, so to speak, right? The only way that he could punish Hardy hard enough to get it, because Sean is all about, you have to adopt our mindset, right? When I was talking to I called Rich to see if he can come in and take a look at the laptop last week, right? So he came, and then my pop came in, and you know, we were talking football, and the one thing that he said a couple of times that stuck out to me, he said Sean's culture is a coach's culture, right? It's more about you know, the camaraderie amongst coaches than it is camaraderie amongst players, right? So when players come in, they have to adopt his culture or the coach's culture, which is where the players are, you know, fully submitted and subject to the coach's whims. And for Hardy to come in as a rookie, no doubt, and I don't know if you want to call it gumption or guts or the balls or however you want to say it, but he had the mindset of, I want to make stuff happen. I need to show these guys that I can ball, that I can make plays, right? And that's what any football player is trying to do in training camp. They all are trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Not here. The coaching staff here wants you to come in and show that you can just do what you're told the best possible way.
Right.
You know, so when I saw that, when I saw him get cut, I'm like, this is a punishment. It's the same way he would make James Cook sit on the bench or something like that. What I think happened with James Cook and other players like that you know, got sat down during games or disciplined during game, is Sean couldn't afford to go without those players during the season. But because he's already got so many corners, he's got Cam Lewis, he's still got who's the other guy, the other corner that's on the practice squad right now?
You talking about the Corey Couch?
Yeah, he's got Couch. He's got what happened to the 6'2" guy we got? Ingram.
Oh, he's made it 53.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh man, sweet. So he's still got him, and on top of that, he's got. Did I say Cam Lewis? Yeah. So he's got other guys that can step in and play corner when needed. Right. He didn't need to keep Hardy.
Right.
Right. So looking at that, it's like, this is a punishment. Right. It's costing the team $800,000 to discipline Daquan Hardy, basically. And who knows how long this discipline is going to last for.
And who knows how long he's here for. He can get poached.
That's true too. I
mean, that was a slippery slope. You put that much on film that this guy can do this, that, and the third.
That's true. Yeah.
Just to put him on an unprotected practice squad. Let's see. I had a couple. Let's see. Steve Noble. I think the Bills appreciated Hardy's work as a backup cornerback more than a kick returner. Now that they have a backup cornerback, they're comfortable with on the practice squad. They can call up and a kick return guy they like on the 53. See, that's the thing. Once again, if another team has a cornerback that goes down, Daquan Hardy is out of here. I mean, he has a choice to say, I don't want to go, but who says I don't want a chance at the 53? Especially after this team showed me what they think of me.
Right.
They showed me that I can't prove myself on this team.
Yep.
They showed me that my skill set is not valuable to them because I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what I was trained to do for the last 10 years of my life.
Yep.
I committed to being a cornerback, a damn good outside cornerback at that. I played against the ones. I played against the twos. You can't say I played against the taxi squad players, you know, in the third game of the preseason. I played against quality people, and I showed what I have. So for the Bills, if they really think that they're going to keep him there long term, hey, if they do, bravo. But I just don't understand, you know. And the thing is, you look at where they're spending this money. And I'm looking at the defensive line. So our Bills defensive line.
Yeah, I wanted to see how much they're spending on that right now.
You'll love this. Bills defensive line is the the ninth highest paid defensive line in the league. Where the sacks at? I know we got sacks, but where the sacks at? I want dominance.
Spending the ninth most money on defensive linemen.
Guess what? You want to laugh? We have the cheapest linebacker core in the whole league.
Terrell Bernard still on his rookie contract?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard.
But there's only two. There's only two of them.
Right.
And
it makes sense.
else.
But the thing is, where are we getting beat up? In the linebacking core. We're getting beat up, Travis Kelce's, with these tight ends, these athletic guys. And don't you think you should dictate some resources to your linebacking room?
Right.
What about your secondary? Let's see. Secondary. They are the 18th ranked secondary in terms of salary. 18th. So what is our leading core? Quarterback. But I bet you if I flip this over to the dead cap,
it's highest in the league. It has to.
Dead cap. Our running backs are 10th. You say how? I couldn't tell you. I just know that they're 10th in running back dead cap. Why is wide receiver? One guess. Where do you think we are? Wide receiver dead cap.
Numero uno.
Numero uno. Tight ends. We are obviously low because we didn't have any tight ends to cut. Offensive line, we are 7th. Defensive line, dead cap. We are about 14th. Linebacker dead cap. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8th. Secondary dead cap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I didn't scroll the page down that one time on dead cap.
Is that all from Poyer?
No, Hyatt too, because Hyatt got void years. He's on a void year, so he's technically a free agent, but he still counts against the cap. But the thing is, it should be reversed.
Right.
For a team that's supposed to be good, I shouldn't have to scroll this page and manipulate it to see all of our rankings. We should be top 10 in everything in pay. If we're the the second worst cap situation, third worst.
But what just out of curiosity, where were we last year in terms of spending? Do you remember
in
roughly?
Cap, we were I think roughly 24th.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
but that was, you gotta figure we were worse.
That was a decline.
We were the last this year
right.
before the manipulation of Epinesa and Jones.
Right.
Now, that's one of those deals where you got to say, do I want one or the other? Because remember, I said next year we have a negative $2 million cap hit already in 25. You got Rousseau coming up. I don't know what people think. People prognosticate he's going to have double-digit sacks. I don't see it, but for what he does, he still should be getting $15 million. He's going to be probably one of the best run stoppers in the league.
We can do that real quick. We can. Do you want to go through? You want to like see if he can actually or predict
Let's
if he can
do
actually? So, can you pull up the schedule?
Mm-hmm.
And let me see here. Try to do all this while controlling the cameras. But let's find every tackle he's gonna go against for the season, and let's just see if he stacks up. I mean, that shouldn't be that hard, right? Or will that pull up the rosters if you use that?
I have
actually
dope. I can do it because I have. You're right. I have the our lads up.
Okay.
So give me 1 second to get back where I was. So
yeah,
Arizona.
You just go to the depth chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Arizona, he's going to be lined up.
So I'll pull
I don't think
schedule.
they don't switch him that often. So we're pretty good in saying he's going to be going up against the right tackle.
Yes.
Okay, so Jonah Williams is Arizona's starting right tackle.
Jonah Williams. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's been there for a minute. He's been there for a minute. So Jonah Williams he's older now. He's definitely below average in terms of his performance relative to his peers. Oh no, this is not the same Jonah Williams I was thinking about. He's 26.
Oh,
this is not out the who was I thinking? Jonah Williams. Who was I thinking about? Okay. Anyway, maybe this is a younger guy. This is definitely not the right tackle I was thinking about.
He's from Cincinnati. That's the one I thought he was from Cincy, but yeah.
This is their left tackle that they had.
Yeah, they must move him to the right side.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. So then I can tell you, this Jonah Williams does not have long arms at all, and he is light in the butt to say the least. I think I think Rousseau might eat him up. Honestly, he's really not that good.
I had in the Kyler Murray effect though. He's a little scutterbuck, so he's going to be scrambling all over the place. I don't know how much they're going to run too, because you figure they don't have a bona fide wide receiver core. They got Marvin Harrison and insert name here. So because I think Christian Kirk is still injured, right?
Christian Kirk, I believe so.
I think the
No, it didn't show on here.
actually no.
Here, let me look it up.
Michael. Okay, so they got Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Marvin. Yeah, they're gonna run. They got it. They have to. How they gonna survive? They got Trey Benson. I'm glad I drafted him now. Trey Benson, James Conner from Pittsburgh, Amari DiMercado, and DJ Dallas. I know DJ Dallas was a depth guy from Seattle. So I think they're gonna run a lot on Sunday.
No, that's as of the 19th. We don't want that.
And while you're looking,
yep.
Clones Bully said, yeah, Hardy was a late round pick, and I don't know why Bills fans love the 54th man so much around here. We love practice squad and training camp killers every year. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They scour. They pride themselves on scouring the practice squad, other teams' practice squads, and getting the best guy. See Isaiah McKenzie, see KJ Hamler. See what we brought in. I don't care about that anymore. You say you draft, develop, and pay. You haven't shown that, at a market pace since when? Since 2017. You got a couple of guys you retain. Josh Allen, who obviously is a no-brainer. You got Ed Oliver. You got Milano. But I mean, for the most part, either your guys are gone or they priced themselves out of Buffalo. In other words, you didn't want them, or they priced themselves out of your range because you have a number. You always got a number, but nobody really knows what that number actually is.
Right.
It ain't a high number now because we only got 440,000.
Oh, that's right. Kirk is on the Jags, not on
he's on
Cardinals.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
So they got Trey McBride. So their weapons are Trey McBride, Elijah Higgins, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Chris Moore, Xavier Weaver, Zach Pascal.
So I have Michael Wilson on my fantasy team. Sorry, what is his name now? I'm forgetting people's names. Roy. Sorry, Roy, for talking fantasy, but he's on my fan. So he actually
that's what I thought. Oh, Roy said that he thinks there's another Jonah Williams that plays in Minnesota.
Maybe. Okay, that might have been who I was thinking about. But yeah, Michael Wilson is one of those kind of sneaky good wide receivers. He played well last year. He definitely got a boost in fantasy, which means people expect him to do much better this season, especially with Marvin Harrison across from him. Greg Dortch is your average slot guy. He's not, he's not a blazer. He's not like, there's not really anything super special about that dude. Right. But I don't even think you really need to worry about the wide receivers unless they really start running the ball down our throats.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that makes me the most nervous. You know what? While we're here, let's get into, and then we can go back through the schedule for Greg Rousseau after this.
And I got Trey McBride, just so we throw that in there.
Well, Trey McBride, everybody is like loving this guy. You got him on your team?
Yeah. This one of those deals where I'm like, where's the tight end? Oh, who's this guy? Pick him.
It makes sense. All right. So did you know that the Cardinals are 5-7 against the Bills all time?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You knew that?
I didn't know that, actually. I looked at it. I have that as part of my pregame.
Do you remember what the last victory for the Cardinals was? I'm sorry, the last victory for the Bills against the Cardinals was before the Hail Mary game.
Before that, I don't know when the last time I played them. Before that, it was
October 5th, 2008.
2008.
2008. Was
that my game?
That was the last victory. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the last victory the Bills had against the Cardinals before. Or I'm sorry, the last loss the Bills had against the Cardinals. Or no, we beat them that game. I'm sorry.
Who was the quarterback?
I'm sorry, I'm messing it up. Who was their quarterback?
Our quarterback.
Our quarterback? You sure you want to know?
Yes, I do.
Look at his face.
it
was Trent Edwards.
yeah,
Trent
that's what I
Edwards.
thought. That's the game that destroyed him, isn't it? Isn't that the game where he was never the same again? Adrian Wilson, isn't that the game?
We beat them in that game though. Like that's the game we beat them.
I got to look this up.
Trent Edwards played in that game. Trent Edwards.
He played the whole game.
Marshawn Lynch, Lee Evans was on that team.
I gotta look this up because what game did he get?
2008, October 5th, 2008.
What game did he get his block knocked off?
I think that might have been 2012.
Nah, Fitz was here then. Fitz won against New England in 2011. So maybe maybe
it could have still maybe because he got knocked out of that game, right?
He did.
So
let me stop.
So in that game, 2008, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bills beat the Cardinals. Do you know who the quarterback for the Cardinals was in that game?
I do not.
It's Kurt Warner.
That's probably the only quarterback they've ever had that I know.
you know Carson Palmer.
Yeah, I do know Carson, but you're right. Okay.
Right,
so there's 3 now. Fine.
Okay. Fair enough. Wait. You know Kevin Cobb, right?
Did he start for them?
He was a starter for them. Yeah, he was a starter right before he came here. I think he came here after they let him go.
That's tough. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I do know. Okay, so I do know more than I think. You're refreshing my memory.
Okay, fair enough. So what was interesting about this victory over the Cardinals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went on that year to make it to the Super Bowl. That was the year that they lost to the Steelers in the Super Bowl. So technically, Trent Edwards beat a Super Bowl caliber team.
We'll fight later.
That's how.
We'll fight later.
That's how good he was. He was good enough to beat a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'll leave you alone there.
So what do we have? Let's see. Steve said Bills lost to the Cards in 2008 and beat them in 12 and 16. Okay.
Wait. Let me see this here. Okay. So they lost that game? I thought I remember seeing that they won that game.
Well, let's do some fact checking. Let us fact check.
He probably just looked it up. I mean,
he probably did.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna re-look it up because I don't believe him. No.
Hey, I just want to get it right. I swore they won that game. I don't know. That probably was the game you were thinking about where Trent Edwards got knocked out of that game. Because Adrian Wilson, man. Adrian Wilson.
Yeah, buddy. Took him to the crib. Took him to the crib. 7-9 season. I mean, the thing, the ironic part about it, of course, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But the thing is, what was so maddening about that was that everybody, Trent was on pace to do what? He was on pace to do what?
Anything better than any other quarterback that was there after Drew Bledsoe, basically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because you figure, he went 3 for 3 for 18 yards. That's pretty much about right for him. J.P. Lossman went 15 to 21 for 220, a touchdown interception in that game. Got sacked 5 times.
What was the score in the game?
Let's see, that
33 to something.
41 to 17.
No, that's not the game.
That's not the game. Okay.
No, what the heck was I looking at?
Because this is the 2008 game.
So what? Okay. What was the next game after that they played?
Okay. Let me do my digits.
Yeah. Oh, you do got it pulled up last 5 games.
All right. So the last 5, we played them in 2020, obviously, right before the bye. So you know what that means. We lost. 2016, 2012, and 16, we did win. So we won 2016, 33-18, and 2012, 19-16. Then we lost 2008, and we won 04, 99, and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
yeah, so
I might have been looking at that 2016 game then, thinking it was
2016.
Yeah, but that's not the one where that's Trent Edwards didn't play in that.
No. Trent Edwards, that 2008 game. I'm pretty sure it was a game where his life changed according to Bills fans.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely Captain Checkdown, Columbus Bully. You didn't see me on the camera, but when I put up my resource, I said Captain Checkdown. They actually put that on Pro Football Reference. You don't have to pay to see it.
Yes, they
just
did.
look at Trent Edwards.
Yes,
you'll see Captain Checkdown. It tickled me.
But this is the whole movement they doing now with people's nicknames and stuff, right? Because didn't they put Kadarius Toney's nickname on there or something like that?
Oh yeah. Wait, there was a Kadarius Toney. Take this out. Maybe I spelled it wrong.
All right, so
you
got it? No?
Yep.
There it is. Okay.
Young Joker. YUNGJOKA. Young Joker. Look at this dude. Yo, he's a scary looking cat, man.
He looks like the dude that he looks like the dude that shot the 49ers wide receiver in the chest.
And somebody mentioned that. That is crazy. I just affirms I am afraid of California. I'm not even worried about saying it. I'm afraid of California.
Bro, that's everywhere, bro.
No, man, not even that. Not me. We're in Buffalo. We know that. But you can't wear this hat in LA. This represents an LA gang somewhere. This, a Yankee cap, because it's blue and white.
Oh, well, yeah. Those are
no, ain't got nothing to do with Crips.
Nothing?
It's something else.
What?
There's like 32 different hats you can't wear in California for certain reasons. I lie to you not. There's a YouTube page on this dude who breaks down every hat, what you can't wear. I'm like, nah, I'm good. This is, and dude, I mean, you're talking about, you talk about Old Block in Chicago. You talk about North Philly, which looks like downtown Buffalo, that part that they don't want you to see.
Yep.
You talk about New York City. I mean, I'd rather go to any of them places than go to because he was in San Francisco on a shopping area, affluent shopping area. They have Lamborghinis and stuff driving. They got shot in broad daylight. 3:30 in the afternoon at an autograph signing.
It's bright at that point in time.
Yes, in San Francisco. Wow. I know the other side of the board in Oakland, but I mean, dude, the gall to walk up on somebody in broad daylight and try to take his watch. When they don't give it to you, y'all tussle, you shoot them. That's crazy to me. I'm gonna stay here.
You think it was like an initiation thing? Because gangs do that too. Like
they do, but then with the economy, people they trying to get that coming. It was a Rolex. They're trying to take his Rolex from him. I mean, that'll set you back. A Rolex is what? 30,000, 45,000, upwards of 75, even maybe.
At least. Yeah.
So no. I mean, it could be, but dude, I'm not built for that. I'm not built for that.
You ain't built to lose a Rolex.
I'm not built to walk around with my shirt buttoned up top and have it open. I'm not built. I'll be in a house.
You can't be an SA.
I'm not going over there. The Midwest is as far as I'm gonna go.
Oh my gosh. All right. So these numbers I'm sure about though, right? The Cardinals have a really good run game.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, they were 10th overall in rush play percentage, right? They ran the ball 44.1%. Yards per rush was 5 yards per rush. That was second overall amongst all 32 NFL teams, right? Their rushes per game, they were 12th overall. They ran it 27 times a game on average. Their rush yards per game, 139.1 is third overall. Part of it was they had no choice because they had no Kyler Murray, right? But when you learn how to live a certain way and you start surviving that way, it becomes a strength, not a weakness.
Right.
So their rush touchdowns per game, they had one rushing touchdown per game on average. It's 8th overall. So their run game is really, really good, right? Now, obviously, we know our rush defense is not the greatest. Right. I expect it to be better this year because of who our safeties are. and who our weak side linebacker is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the run defense will be a little bit better. And I think the league will be pleasantly surprised. I think Bills fans will be pleasantly surprised with that. However, they now have the opportunity and the ability to throw the ball. Not only that, but they have Mike Wilson, who has played in the league for a year already, got some experience. Now he knows, how to study the game and how to study opponents and all. He's got a year of experience under his belt. He's going to be better. Mm-hmm. And you got a Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in the building, who is a stud. Right. On top of that,
Don't let Mel hear you say that though.
Huh?
Don't let Mel hear you say that though.
What do you mean?
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a stud. He probably shaking his head right now. He hates that guy. I don't know why, but he hates that guy.
Yeah, I don't know why either. but I think he's going to be good. But the worst part of all is you got a fully healthy Kyler Murray, and if Kyler Murray is 90% of who he was when we played him in the Hail Murray game,
right?
That's enough. That's enough. What defensive lineman do we have that's going to catch him in the open field? If he scrambles right or left, like who do we have that's gonna catch him?
Well, we saw what he can do when he scrambles, firsthand. So I mean, he's always a dangerous guy. And I was looking while you were talking about. It's weird that he scrambles so much, is because he doesn't get as much pressure as you would think. They don't pressure him out of the pocket. They don't hit him. They don't.
Well, they don't want to. They don't want to. It's kind of the same thing as like a Josh Allen game plan. Like you don't want to give him the opportunity to scramble.
It seems like for him, he like wants to scramble more. I think we talked about Josh scrambling, and I think he feels like he needs to. But Kyler's just like, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm about to go. And I'm like, okay. And I just looked it up because I said, he must have a horrible offensive line. They're not great, but it's a lot of him just wanting to do what he does, what he wants to do, freelance.
Yeah.
And being, what is he, 5'10", 5'11"?
He's 5'10".
Yeah, being at 5'10", maybe Bryce Young needs to watch him a little more.
That's cold. That's cold.
You got Prince around back there.
Oh my gosh. So I'm thinking defensively, as far as their defense, we can absolutely run the ball on them. What I will say is this. Well, actually, let me back up a step.
Mm-hmm.
Because their defensive line is probably the weakest group of the entire defense, right? I think secondary, their safeties are good. Linebackers are very athletic. Like, just overall, their defense is very athletic, right? Mm-hmm. But their defensive line, I mean, their nose tackle was a backup last year who didn't even make the squad last year, right? I think he was waived injured or injury settlement or something like that. Then they brought him on the practice squad, and they needed him later on in the season, like somewhere around October or whatever, brought him onto the team, and he just kind of stuck up until, this year where he makes the team, right? But again, not great, right? So when I'm looking at their defensive line, I'm like, anytime you can move another team's defensive lineman, I don't really worry so much about the linebackers, because at that point, you know what I'm saying? You've already won the battle you needed to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why they say the game is won in the trenches, because mano a mano. When you watch college football teams, and yes, I'm very happy we got college football back. But when you watch college football, you watch the trenches. The top ranked teams usually push the lower ranked teams wherever they want to push them to. They move them where they want to move them to, and that's how you win. And I mean, it's not the cute way to win. It's not the cute way to watch football. It's not fun to see, but it's how it's necessary. It's necessary. You have to be able to control the line of scrimmage in order to do what you want. You got to impose your will,
right?
And that's one of the things that I'm worried about with McDermott. He's won a lot of games where his lines have held up, but the defense is almost like their D line is almost. We're happy to win a stalemate. We don't win by penetrating and getting past you and beating you. We win by holding you in place. And like our linebackers, and that's proof in the pudding by the fact that teams run on us whenever they want to. we don't have a good run defense because why? Because our defensive line can't control an offensive line when they're trying to run on us.
Marcus, what's going on, man? No, we're not saying we're gonna lose week 1. I'm saying there's things that I'm concerned about, that if the Bills don't have a game plan, or if they haven't prepared well enough for, it could bite them in the butt and potentially lose.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't expect this team to lose the first game. I mean, you got to understand, like this team that we have this year, Bean and Sean are doing the best they can with the leftovers of the decisions they've made. You know what I mean? This is not the best iteration of the Bills. This is just the best of what's left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's essentially all it is. So when you're playing with a team like that, and you're saying to yourself, well, if we got Josh Allen, we're gonna be okay.
Right.
What you're really saying is, we've got Josh Allen, we're not gonna lose 13 games.
Right.
That's really what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're not banking on 10 wins. You're not banking on any number of wins. What you're banking on is not losing way more than you win.
Right.
And that's what Josh gives you. Now, do I want my coaches, leaning on that or depending on that or building a team around that idea? Heck no. But that's what they've done this year. And I'm welcome to anybody who wants to, come in and put something in the comments that leads me to believe differently. But, from what I've seen so far, that's what it is. Super Promo, what's going on? He says this is probably not likely, but if it did, what record would the Bills have to fire McDermott?
To fire McDermott, I think somebody in the comments put 9-8 Columbus Bully. I think it's gonna be worse than that. Honestly, I think it has to be an epic collapse. I think it has to be calamity.
Yeah.
You have to lose the locker room by the bye week in order to say, okay, it's going down.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're talking about something like 6-11, 5-12. I think that's the baseline for a McDermott termination.
I don't know if I agree with this idea, but I like the thoughtfulness of it. Sal, welcome to the show, man. He says Pagula won't fire McDermott until the new stadium in use for a few years. That is something that I could see, because as of right now, and I was saying this before while everybody's staring at you on your phone. I was saying this. I was talking to somebody while I was driving,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the most interesting thoughts is Bills fandom in general has more leverage now than they will ever have after the stadium is built. And I'm talking about, when I say leverage, I mean the ability to really hurt the Bills' bottom line, or to hurt the owner's bottom line, and really make an influence in what we want to see in terms of team build or the coach not being here or whatever. And here's why. Right now, this team is just trying to make it to 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everything that they're doing is it's just light maintenance until we can get to the new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll start heavily investing in, like, everybody who thinks that this team is only going through one transition year, you're fooling yourself. I mean, right. we looked at it already. They're already what, $2 million under the over the cap next year
in 25. Yeah,
right. And does that include Josh's $60 million?
Yeah.
Or okay, so you have to add on to that
Rousseau and all the rest of the guys.
Right.
Anybody you want to keep is going to take you way in the Takesville.
Exactly. So there's going to be a lot more cuts next year. Maybe if I put it on this camera, how does that look, everybody?
And I was going to say, while you're pulling the audience, pulling the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow, we look strange.
I know, right?
Yo, that's crazy. But we are, for guys that are worried about week one, we're 4-3 in week one, and 2-1 at home in week one. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. But I just want to make you feel better inside.
Yeah. But that's the tough part, because when fans are thinking about, okay, I do want a better team, but I don't want to go against my team. No, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. If you're, while everybody stares at you on your phone again.
No, I'm looking at comments.
No, I keep leaving it on you while I'm talking. This is ridiculous.
I'm looking at comments.
Anyway, if I was to lead a strike against the Bills, it would absolutely be this season and next season, because you're not about to take what Sean is doing into the new stadium with you. You're not. I'm not letting you. Right. I will stop buying tickets. I will stop buying parking. I will stop all of that. And guess what? It ain't like you got the money to cover the stadium by yourself, right? I'm paying for that. So if I'm paying for that, guess what? You might be able to say to yourself, we could survive 1 year, but can you survive 2? Because that's what you're going to have to deal with just to get to this new stadium. And on top of that, you still need to sell tickets when you open up the new stadium, right? What they're banking on right now and what they keep promoting right now is the ooh and the ah of a new stadium, just in general.
You see what Roy put?
No, I did not.
He said those curtains are the same pattern as some of my boxers. Well then, all right.
You know what? We staying like this the rest of the show.
Sure it is.
We staying like this the rest of the show.
In honor of Roy's drawings.
That's it. That's it. This is what we're doing, folks. Thank you to Roy's Boxers for
sponsored by Roy's Boxers.
That's right. There you go. Roy, we need to talk to you about an endorsement deal, man.
Endorsement deal.
Yeah.
Lucrative.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, for us.
Right.
Yeah, because he's definitely got to pay us to keep his boxers on the show.
On the window.
But my wife has been talking to my pop about like really doing something with that. But maybe we should just open it up next time. But this whole space in this room is a recording booth. It's a whole nother kind of studio set that we got set up in there for like solo videos and stuff like that. But maybe that's a better view than Roy's Boxers.
It might be maybe who's watching what y'all want to see. Y'all poll in the comments. No, but no, you're right. I think to where you are, where my mind goes. Obviously, you guys that watch the show and know me, they know I'm like, yo, where's the money going to be in 2026?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you get a bright new shiny stadium. Then what? I don't care about the coach. Who's the talent that's going to be on the new field?
Right.
I mean, don't see that would be the year they would be like, oh, we're getting New Jerseys. No. I don't want New Jerseys. I want a team that's competent. I want a team that's going to take us to the promised land in our stadium. Because guess what? That new stadium is going to be on prime time for 3 weeks of the playoffs before the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what I want to hear. I don't want to, and this is my attack on the Bills brass. All they do is pride themselves on we have foresight. We don't sign this guy because we want to have the money down the line. Where's your money now? Where's your money now? So what are you going to do when 2026 happens and you're selling these PSLs at $50,000 a pop? They sold 3,600 of them so far. I heard.
You're not going to be able to sell culture at that point. There's no way. You're going to be too under the gun for you to have that kind of a standard.
Right. And as people say, what do you say? I can't keep my lights on love.
Right.
Can't
Love
do it.
ain't paying
Love
the
ain't
bills.
paying the bills.
They ain't doing it. But yeah, I mean, so that was to answer the question. How many games would they have to lose? I think it would have to be, to make it to simplify the answer. I think they would have to win 3 games. I say if they win 3 games and lose the rest, right? And according to this schedule, I mean, I can find you 3 wins. 2 of them would be against the Patriots.
You sure?
I'm certain. I'm certain because like what you got to consider is this: if the Bills really are way worse than we think they're going to be, and I think this team is an 8 to 9 win team right now, just on paper, right? If we start going to looking at the matchups and stuff like that, maybe you can find a few more wins here and there, and injuries and stuff like that on top of that. Obviously, you can find wins if you really look hard enough. But on paper, I think this team is an 8-9 win team. And that's with Josh Allen having a great season, right? I just don't think they have it defensively. I think they'll be good, but not as good as they used to be.
I think they might be as good as they used to be, only because they're an unknown. There is lightning in the bottle, but that's not sustainable. And I think Columbus Bully said in the comments something about sustained success. That's what they always preach: sustained success.
Yeah,
You can't do that with tryhards.
exactly.
You got to have talent. And I'm not saying the guys aren't talented, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Just say it, bro.
As much as I love UB, as much as I love, where I'm going, the linebacker and core at UB.
Who sent this comment?
No, this is Columbus Bully that says sustained success.
Okay.
We're excited about Joe Andreessen, which is fine, but
this ain't the time for feel good stories.
This ain't the time for feel good stories.
All.
He called UB. He zoomed them. He told who got the scholarships. He announced it. He got the call from Jim Kelly. We cried, whatever the case may be. But now we're playing football. Joe Andreessen is one of the 53. Joe Andreessen's got to keep his spot on one of the 53 every week, because at any given time, Matt Milano may come back. He's not on IR. He's on IR, but he's not on season ending.
Yeah.
And guess who the first person they're going to look at and say, how is the kid playing? When Milano says, I want to put my 58 back on. How's Andreessen look? What's he doing on teams? Now, are we going to be pissed off if he gets cut or if he gets put on a practice squad? Maybe, but the thing is, the thing I have against this team, against this fan base, the only thing I have against this fan base is the loyalty aspect.
Yep.
There's too much of a memory. There's no what have you done for me lately?
Right.
At any given time, the only teams that win are you have your bona fide players that make the team, the guys that can't afford to screw up every once in a while. Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce's, Jalen Hurts, people like that. But then the rest of the guys are like, every week I got to play for my paycheck.
Right.
But the Bills, no. I'm guilty of it too. When I play Madden, I never cut anybody because he's on the team for real. I got to keep him.
Right.
I got to keep him. But I'm not the one in the front office making the decision. And these guys clearly keep making the same decision based on what? How do I know this? Why is Kingsley Johnson still here? Why is Cameron Klein still here? Why is Elianku still here? These are the guys that get called up in the event somebody gets hurt. But no, you know what Bean's going to do? You know what McDermott's going to do? They're going to go out and scan the waiver wire and bring in another Codrington, bring in another person that we don't have on the roster. But you held these guys on the taxi squad as a taxi squad for a reason.
Right.
Because at any given time, we might need you. And when we answer the bell, we need you to, hey, man, we need you to do your thing. But I don't have the confidence. So once we get our defense figured out, like you said, I know I'm all around it, but once we get around your defense is figured out, it's figured out. We don't have any nuances that we can really pull out to stop someone, because we know Dorian Williams can't cover. We know Andreessen's a liability. What we don't know about is what Terrell Bernard can do next to these guys. We don't know what the second year of Russell Douglas is going to be. I heard earlier today that I forget who it was, but they asked Packer fans. They said, what about this guy? What do you think? They made him sound like DeRon Bland. They said this dude gets picked on all the time. They said he gets beat all the time, but he makes those big plays that you forget about, those big interceptions and things like that.
Right. So none of that other stuff matters.
None of that other stuff matters. Right. But when that's your number one, I'm scared, because that's your number one.
Yeah.
And then what's on the other side? What's behind him? We don't. Is it Mar Hamlin? Is it Mike White? We didn't see Mike White at all in the preseason, so now he's ready to start. This team sustained success. They said you have to earn your spot. Do your 111. What the hell 111 did Mike White do? He didn't do anything. So when he's ready, he's going to start. Come on now. I mean, what are you telling me? What are you telling me? You're showing me more than you're telling me. It's craziness.
First of all, you're not going to hate on my man Mike White.
No. This actually isn't
the
about
best
Mike
backup
White.
we've ever had.
Right.
Ever. Aside from Frank Reich, freaking is the best backup we've ever had. I'm sorry. Josh Allen is the best backup we've ever had.
Yeah, for a whole half.
Exactly. But I want to answer this question really quick, and there's another one from Roy that I want to get to too. Sal says, "What if scenario? If McDermott is fired, does Bean go with him?" I
want to touch on that too. Oh, Columbus Bully, you are a good guy. You see this? He put Mike White as half of an 11th. Yes. Yes. Anyway, going back to Columbus Bully, I was making sure it was on you when you did that. That'd be a tragedy if you didn't put it on your own self when you made the face. Anyway, that'd be
I'm getting better at this as we go.
Man, I'm trying to do these comments, man. This is tough.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Tough.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's not easy.
No.
Go ahead.
But no, to your point about what was the comment? It was a bean. The bean.
Yeah. So if Sean McDermott is fired, does Bean go with him?
I mean, it's not like he has a choice. I mean, he does. He's at the whim at the mercy of the owner. He can't say enough of this crap. I'm out of here. No, he can't do that. He won't do that because this is still a job and it's still his team that he's working on. But it's up to Pegula to allow him to stay and do all this stuff. For me, they talk about Jim Overdorf. They talk about we did it. You didn't now. You didn't. This is the first time I can unequivocally say your foresight sucks. Unequivocally. Because you can't afford to bring in any talent. You're going to have to do roster gymnastics to sign another draft class. Would you have, 11 picks next year? Yeah. So everybody's talking about, keep trading down for Keon Coleman. Great. No. Yeah. They knew they couldn't afford that first round draft pick.
But you know what it's like, and to some degree, it has to be okay, I'll give you a scenario, right? So doing this podcast was my idea, right? Mm-hmm. But and y'all say this all the time. I don't know why y'all say y'all keep telling me it's my podcast. No, it's our podcast.
If this thing goes down, I ain't with it, baby. No, I'm just joking.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I know fair enough. I'll take the hit if it goes down. But but the situation with McDermott and Bean is like if I start making a bunch of decisions that hurt the show, right? I start changing camera arrangement. I really like get a copy of Roy's draws and put the picture up here, and
which he said, don't let the size fool you.
Well, okay, I'm not even gonna respond to that. Anyway, like I just start making a bunch of weird, terrible decisions, right? And you guys are coming, like we're all on the same level, right, so to speak. And y'all come to me and like, yo, what's going on? I got a plan. Just let me work. Mm-hmm. Like we've been winning so far, right? We got all these subscribers, we got all these views, we've been winning so far, right? Just trust me.
Right, yeah.
Right. And y'all just kind of shrug your shoulders, like, well, okay, I guess I can't argue with the numbers. Okay, And then we start going along. All of a sudden, we start losing subscribers, start losing views. We get kicked from the network, and stuff ain't going right. And we start telling everybody, like, look, I know it looks rough right now, but we're in the transition season.
Trust our process. Right. We're going to figure this out. Just stay with us.
Right. I don't shave for 3 months. Right. I just come on the show looking disheveled every single day, holes all in my clothes. I start cussing left and right.
And that Reed's Tea is no longer Reed's Tea.
Exactly. Reed's Tea done left me on somebody else's show now. All kind of weird, stupid stuff is happening. And here I am just staunching my process. Like, no, this is going to work. This is, I believe in this. Mm-hmm. At some point, you and Mac are going to take this football and shove it up my, because
that was excellent. That was excellent. You were having too much fun over there.
I am having way too much fun over here. I have too many buttons to focus on right now while trying to make points. But that's what Bean is going through right now. Honestly, I truly believe that's what Bean is going through right now, because you can point to McDermott's history and see he's always been a good defensive coordinator, mm-hmm. right? He's never been a head coach before,
right? And
we see what his track record as a head coach is now, which is he's essentially he's the Lamar Jackson of coaches. Mm-hmm. Great in the regular season, puts up numbers in the regular season,
right?
But when it comes to the playoffs, got a little something in the throat.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it becomes this issue where your performance is sagging a little bit,
right?
So if I'm Bean and I'm watching this happen, to some degree, I have to be setting something up for myself.
Right.
I have to be, making comments to the owner, and I truly believe this is part of what happened with the whole conversation where Sean called Bean and started asking him, like, are you on board with this? Are you still on board? Because if you're not, and as soon as Sean gets to if you're not, and all of a sudden Bean just starts going off on him, like, I think that's how a conversation like that happens. If you're a GM and you know you've had success in Carolina, you know you've gotten great. Like he drafted an all-time great linebacker, 2 of them. I no, I can't say 2 of them. He drafted Luke Kuechly, but he was there when Thomas Davis was there, right? He also drafted Shaq Thompson, who's a great linebacker. So we know he can draft. He drafted Josh Norman, who ended up being a great corner there. So we know he can draft. Do I want to keep being after this? Heck yeah, I would keep being after this. If I'm the owner, you know what I mean? Because to some degree, the owner has to know the contributions of the head coach. And like, I think Terry would know enough about football now to be able to understand it. You're right. Yeah, that is the hope.
Because I'm looking at the hockey team too, and they're cutting GMs and coaches and this and like, yo, he's got a quick trigger, but he doesn't have he's an affinity for Sean McDermott. So I don't know.
Yeah. But to answer the question, I think, unfortunately, I said all that to say, unfortunately, I think Bean does get the pink slip.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's unfortunate because he really is a good GM in terms of signing players and finding talent and drafting and all that kind of stuff. When they were initially building the team, he did a great job transitioning from the old roster and the roster surgery they went through and all that kind of stuff. Yes, they did a good job to kind of build the vision. But I mean, we've already gone through all the kind of different ways that the plan got sped up and then it kind of fell apart because they weren't ready. And
I just think that Jordan McCarron is no Russ Brandon. Russ Brandon, for all the warts he had, all the bad stuff we heard about him, he did a lot of covering up for the deficiencies of Dick Duran, Doug Marrone, Chan Gailey, what's the guy's name? Malarkey, all those guys. I don't want that anymore. I want what it is to be seen, and who is it? Sal said Bean's been putting a bow tie on a pig for a while now. Then it's true. It's true. And now, like I said, it's go time because you can't buy yourself out of this. You can't. This what you have now is what you have. This is like a college roster in the sense that once the first game hits, you ain't trading. Colleges can't trade. There's no free agent wire in college. You got red shirts and you got the active roster. That's it. And right now, we're at the point now where somebody goes down, you better pray to God that they develop somebody behind them to step in. Because I don't want to pay for another. We got, I think Kareem Jackson's still on the team, I believe. But that would be my pick. That would have been my pick to be a starter. I don't even know what that was about.
Don't do that, Kev. He said Bean did a good job of picking ex-Carolina
players.
Yes,
he did. And you saw Jordan Matthews was a Carolina tight end, and I believe Deion Kane went to Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Deion Kane went to Carolina after that game.
I don't think it's a Bean thing. I mean, I could be absolutely wrong when I say this.
No.
But Sean is the culture person, not Bean.
No.
If you look at the way that Bean kind of came up through the ranks, like he really went through the ranks. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that Sean didn't, but Sean's culture and how can I say this? I should put the camera on myself first. I really think so much of what we're experiencing now as a franchise has to do with the culture that the previous owner of the Panthers kind of put in place, right? And we can go into that at another time.
Yeah.
But B, the camaraderie amongst staff that Carolina had. And I think that's the thing that when Sean thinks about his culture that he built here, it's a carryover from what they had in Carolina. I guarantee it. He had another traditionally minded defensive head coach in Ron Rivera there while he was a defensive coordinator. So, of course, the culture was coach's culture. Players come in, you do what we tell you, and that's it. Especially if Sean McDermott was in charge of the defense and when I say in charge, I mean running the defense the same way Brian Daboll ran the offense here, where like, yo, I'm doing what I want to do. Because they were running a 4-3. They won't run it like Ron Rivera is traditionally a 3-4 defensive coach. So the fact that they were playing a nickel defense all the time, like that, it was Sean's defense. It was his scheme. So, I think what Sean tried to carry over and bring over here was that coach's culture, right? And so anybody who was familiar with that culture, anybody who was familiar with teaching it or being in it, that's what Sean is trying to keep here. And that's the sad part. That's what all of our players are paying for. That's what all of our fans are paying for. That's what Josh Allen is paying for. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask you about this. How satisfied are you with the little bit of speaking up that Josh has done so far in media?
I mean, I just want to see a carryover. I want him to really feel what he's saying. Because when you speak up to that degree, it's not about trying to show something. You're fed up with something usually that you've been keeping in the wrap, something you've been holding inside. Now you're like, you know what, gloves are off. And I think as a 28-year-old man and the leader of a team, that you are now the leader of a team in which we went over the numbers already. They gave you no weapons. I don't care what anybody says. They gave you no weapons. You're at liberty to voice your displeasure. Or if you're pleased with this, would you really want it? More power to you, but make it work. Yeah. Because at this point, if you wanted this, you better make it work. Because if you can't, it's on you too. Right. I was thinking about it. I'm glad it's funny you said it, because in the back of my mind, I was thinking about the clip of Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if you heard it, but anybody that watched the North Dakota State Colorado game, there was a pass interference call where Shedeur threw a back shoulder throw to Justin Hunter. And he was like, they had I guess mic or whatever. He was like, man, he was all over. He was like, man, just catch that mother effer. He's like, man, he's like, I don't care. Stop me. Just catch that mother effer. He's like, all right, I got you. Okay, I got it. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, when a quarterback demands that of a player, you see how Justin Hunter plays. You see that the boy is bad. But I don't need Josh to be that cocky. But when you're the this is your team. We know this is you. Everybody behind you represents you.
Right.
I demand you to we worked on this over and over and over and over. And that's why I had a problem with the preseason, the way they played it out. Because it's like, okay, McDermott comes, oh, we had an extensive inter squad with Pittsburgh, extensive scrimmage. No, the scrimmage, no, it's not the same.
Do you think that because teams don't really use preseason games to what's the word I'm looking for? To kind of, do most of their analyzing and most of their, deciding on players and stuff like that. Like, for the most part, coaches use practice. Yeah. Because they can do more of what they want in practice and see more of what players would do in the stuff they really want to do in practice more so than the preseason game. But do you think that because of that, what we have on the team is, I'm kind of losing the train of thought of the question, but where I was trying to go is, do you think that more of that is going to end up being the case in the future and potentially kind of hurt the realistic view on who's good and who's not?
Yeah, well, normally I am with the evaluation process, but for me, this past preseason was predicated. I think this is why Josh wanted to play too, because I saw something really where Cam Newton said, what do you say? Watching game film on TV, you don't watch that to pick stuff up. You watch that to kind of get the tendencies, the overall, the hand signal, stuff like that. He said, because that epic clip where he said the lines of you've been studying your playbook, because he says the wheel. He said, but see, we did something called this, which was an arrow, but we also had this, which was a bow, which is two different things. He said, but the simple nuances. See, when I look at Josh Allen playing in the preseason, I don't need him to throw for 300 yards. I want him to get a feel for how MVS turns his head when he hits a certain pocket on the field. I want him to get a glimpse of how it feels for him to see how Curtis Samuel comes back on the route. What is his speed? Where is his hands? That's the stuff you got to duplicate in a game setting. And instead of doing it in the preseason and getting that rust out, we got to do it this Sunday and pray to God that we can do the whole game book, the whole playbook, and not miss a beat. And I don't want that. Luckily, we're playing Arizona, who didn't play any of their starters either. But I don't think that was the way to go when you don't have any kind of chemistry in a game setting. Now, next year, whoever we hold over, if it's MVS, if it's Coleman, if it's Samuel and them, you have a whole season now with them. So you know how they play. You threw the ball to them all year long, and I just want to hit the ground running because that's the little stuff for me. The little stuff is what gets you over the top, and we always talk about we can't get over that hump. Try something new. You were scared, and Josh wanted to play. Why? Why did he want to play? I doubt it was because he wanted to go get beat up. I doubt it was because he wanted to go and look good in front of his family. Nobody was in Pittsburgh to watch that game. Right. He knew he wanted the mental reps. He wanted to see, the new offensive line. How do they hold up against a good pass rush? How is the linebacking core? How are those cornerbacks? How do my guys hold up against the press? This is stuff he's trying to process, and instead, it's raining a little bit. No, we don't do that. So to answer your question, I think it's a trend that is a necessary trend on a team that you're really evaluating. But we had an offense, actually offense and defense, where we don't have any knowledge of how they play together, and they don't either.
Right.
That's the thing that gets me. They don't even know how they play together. You saw Andreessen play with Deion Jones. They were lost because the cues weren't there. Deion Jones isn't as washed as people say. Maybe he is, but we didn't see it because the communication's off. That's like Steve Nash and Murray Stoudemire back in the early 2000s. The pick and roll was lethal because I know where he is at all times. He knows where I'm going. Sean Kim and Gary Payton, throw it up. I'm dunking it. Tom Brady and Randy Moss, just throw it deep. As far as I can throw it, he's going to catch it. He's down there somewhere. And that's the stuff that I wanted to establish before we got to week 1 of the season.
I don't think there are many people outside of those with us right now and some of the people closer to us that are going to want to chew on that any kind of way. Right. You know what I mean? Because here's the issue that I kind of take with, I'll say, because I like to call us, Bills supporters, right? We support the team with, merchandise we buy, tickets, showing, like, we're supporters, right? 100%. To me, a fan speaks to a mindset.
Right.
If you're fanatic about something, that means you don't actually think logically about something. You can't. It is physically impossible for you to be fanatical about anything and think logically and objectively about it.
I see that red, white, and blue come out of that tunnel. I'm dumb.
Right.
That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're doing a show like this, you got to think outside the box. You got to think sometimes.
Exactly. So what makes it hard is when you say these kind of things, fans immediately go to, oh, why do you hate the team? Oh, you think we're going to lose? Or you think that, like, whoa, take a second, breathe. I'm pointing out deficiencies.
Right.
If there's something wrong with your car and I'm a mechanic and I tell you, you need to get your shocks fixed.
Right.
They creaking. Like, that's not good. If they snap on you, you ain't going nowhere. Right? You're not going to say to me, oh, why you hate my car? You don't like my car. You just mad because my car is $30,000. Like, I'm not saying that. It's a beautiful car. The car is dope. I wish I had one.
But this is what I said, they can make it better.
But right. And I don't think it's anything wrong with that at all. But the second you say anything bad about the Bills, people are willing to stick everything down your throat that they can fit.
Hey, yo,
Oh,
bro.
we had a Dooney side even though he's not here.
Yeah.
Oh. I was gonna say Kevin Harris said they lack critical thinking skills, which is, I'm telling you, sometimes it's hard, man. That when you see that first night game, when they turn the lights off, you see the phones, the smoke come out, and they say Josh Allen, the place is ridiculous. You're not thinking about nothing else. You are in the moment.
Right.
When I see that Bills logo, I'm like, yo, let's do this thing.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you got to step back, like, yo, if we had this, or why did he do that? Or, we took what I told you, we took Ken, his best friend, and his best friend's mom to the game, the last game, and I'm like focusing. I heard out of the corner of my ear. I heard in the distance, T said, she's
Right
leaning back. Right.
Right
These things are big, but Jesus. T said, she leaned back. She said, look, he's studying. Talking about me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, focus. On a preseason game where Josh and them ain't even playing. Nobody in the field even probably made the team. But I'm like looking at, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what this guy, he's moving there. He can with it. That's how you. But then when I go back home and watch on TV, I get my beer out. I'm like, yo, okay,
Right.
cool. This is the moment.
Right.
So sometimes you can get lost in it, lose yourself. But don't act like the reason why you believe in this team is because McDermott said so, and it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never do that. He might be, but think about it for yourself and figure it out.
Right. Right. Laura says worst preseason ever. Sal says Eagles fired a Super Bowl winning coach. McDermott cult is a loser mentality. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. When we first started the show, I used to point to that
Yeah.
all the
Yep.
time. Like, you have a team in the Eagles who has been to, I think at the time when we were talking about that, they had been to 2 Super Bowls in the span of 4 years.
Mhm.
Like,
Short leash.
anybody in Buffalo would kill to have something like that.
Oh, you have a statue if you did that.
100%.
You have a statue.
You know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's like, yo, how serious as a fan
Right.
are you really about the team winning?
Right.
Are you just a fan of? And this is okay. When I say this, I want people to understand. I'm not taking a shot at fans.
Uh-oh,
when I
cancel
say
alert.
this, right?
Cancel
I'm not-
alert. Go ahead.
It seems as though people are more in love with spraying ketchup and mustard all over each other and jumping through tables and cooking out in a parking lot in 0-degree weather than they are about winning football games.
Right.
Because everything that happens in the parking lot has been happening for the last 20 years. And the Bills have only been winning for 6 of those years.
You got to think about it. Why did they keep the stadium down in Orchard Park? What was the reason why they said it? Tailgating space.
Yep.
Tailgating space. I mean, that tells you what they want you to do. They want you to tailgate. They want you to have a good time. They want you to get drunk, go in the game, and just be belligerent. Because when you're drunk, you're not. Your eyes are wide shut.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and to your point, yeah. I mean, even as far as to fire Doug Peterson, they were about to fire Nick Sirianni. They were
Yeah,
talking about that.
They sure were last year.
And
And they're
that
still
was-
talking about it this year.
Yeah, that was coming off of a second place, first place, and second place season.
Right. Right. I saw this and I'm glad I saw it.
Mhm.
Excuse me, because I was thinking about this the other day. Bully says Pagula fired Rex quick, right? But I had to like what got me like really pausing on that thought was, or kind of staying on that thought was, wait a second. Pagula hired Rex. As a matter of fact, Rex was Pagula's first coaching hire.
Right.
So what did that say about Pagula's plan? He wanted somebody, who was, tenured and had won something in the NFL,
Mhm.
which is that's not a bad plan.
Right.
Right. He also wanted somebody who could kind of get some buzz going, get some tickets selling, bring some money. It actually was, at the time, the home run of head coaching signings that, in terms of what was available at that time. You can pull up the list, but I'm pretty sure I would have taken Rex Ryan over most people that were available at that point in time.
Yeah.
And I think most of us would have,
Yeah.
because we looked at what he did with the Jets and we said to ourselves, well, man, if he can bring that defense here, then we add that to, we had experienced good defense, but not defenses like that were
Right.
getting them to AFC championship games and you know what I'm saying, Darrelle Revis corners and so
Overcame the butt fumble. Overcame the butt fumble.
overcame Mark Sanchez.
That's man.
That's
all you had to say.
general, right?
Less, yeah.
So at the time, that was a great head coaching signing. But I don't think what Pagula thought would happen was the clownship of Rex Ryan kind
Right.
of taking, the front and center
Mhm.
of everything that was going on. to a degree, part of this, I think, had to do with the GM at the time was Buddy Nix, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're talking about when Pagula took over? Pagula took over?
Yeah. It was Buddy Nix. I'm pretty sure he was still the GM.
Yeah.
Because he didn't leave till 2015 or something like that. And then Whaley was
he
it
was
Whaley?
20. No, it was Whaley because he was 24. He left.
That's
after
right. It
EJ
was
24.
Whaley. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. So Whaley at the time, I don't know what Whaley's plan was, but there's no explanation talent-wise as to why Rex would go in and try to take Mario Williams and make him a linebacker. There's no explanation for Rex deciding to transition any of the players to a 3-4 defense the way he did, other than he wasn't getting the financial support to do what he needed to do. Nobody wanted to do the roster surgery that Brandon Beane was allowed to do here.
And I can tell you with full confidence, it was noted Whaley wanted Hugh Jackson because Hugh Jackson was keeping what's the defensive coordinator?
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yep.
And Russ Brandon wanted Rex Ryan because it'd be a good marketing move. Yep. Because we had to wash our hands of the hoity-toity I'm better than thou Saint Doug
Marone. Yeah.
So he got overruled and he had it. He had a good plan. He just didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
But his flaw was the fact that he wouldn't have done what Bean did when he said, no, we're not going Van Pran. We're going Ray Davis first. He would have said, you want that? Watch this. I'm gonna do you better. I'm gonna get you a better running back, but I'm gonna get you what you want. Because that was he had like
anything that sounds like Cam Newton to you, you are with it, right? Is that what it is? Like, is that the bar that's being set now? If it's not better than Cam Newton saying, "Watch this," I don't want it.
Watch this. Yeah,
right.
That's man. But I think that's the thing. When it came down to Pagula, at first, especially, he listened to the wrong people. He had his brain listening to Russ Brandon's and whoever the Sabres GM was at the time, let them run the asylum and he ran it into the ground. So now you got to play damage control when you bring in Rex Ryan, who wants, like you said, change Mario Williams to the very position that he left Houston for, after being the seventh highest sack producer in Bills history or some nonsense in just 4 years.
Right.
He had double-digit sacks and we're still chasing.
Yep.
And you could have just left him alone. You had, you had a solid cast with Manny Lawson and people like that, and you want to go ahead and change it to a defense that these guys could not figure out to save their life. You want to draft Shaq Lawson when Shaq Lawson said, I knew I wasn't going to Buffalo because I don't know how to play in the 3-4.
Right.
Give him to me anyway.
Right.
So and that's the indictment on Whaley. Brandon Beane said he doesn't play in this defense. Let me see if I can find somebody else that can do what you need, not him. Yep. So, that's the divide. And I hope that Brandon Beane, if he has to work with another head coach, has that same gumption about him or even more to say, you know what, I've been here. I know what we need. I know what we're missing. Let me show you.
You know what's funny is with the Sabres, Pagula has always trusted the GM more than the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like here with the Bills, he and not specifically here in this studio, but with the Buffalo Bills, he trusts the coaches more than he trusts the GM.
Right.
And I just kind of wonder where that comes from, because I think both Rex Ryan and with Sean McDermott now, we've seen the success of the team more so comes from the GM who brings the players in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can if you allow any coach to build the team he wants to build in the NFL, most of the time you're going to have success to some degree, whether you're winning more than 3 games and you were only used to winning 3 games. Now you're winning 7. And if you find a better coach, like the person who hires the coach used to be the GM anyway.
Right.
So imagine if a GM gets to find a good coach that he can work with, hire that guy who comes in with a vision of how he wants to build the team, and the GM likes that plan because he hired him anyway. He's got to like his plan, right? Mm-hmm. And now you have a head coach basically telling the GM, hey, listen, this is the vision I have, and the GM's like, Say no more. I'm going to build it for you.
Right.
Right? Now your GM is getting all these guys in the door, and the only thing that the head coach has got to worry about, coach ain't got to worry about scouting. Coach ain't got to worry about none. All the head coaches got to worry about, is this team playing the way I envisioned it playing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because the only wrench that can be thrown in the game after all of that, after the players are signed, after the players are drafted, after the players are taught the system and they're on the field, the only thing that can get in the way of that is the player.
Right.
Right? And the solutions become very simple after that. The solutions right now in Buffalo are not simple at all. You can't just get rid of any of these players and think that it's gonna.
No, you can't.
Yo, that face you made.
No.
But in the scenario that I'm presenting, it's a much more fluid process.
Oh yeah.
If somebody doesn't work out, you're able to get rid of them.
Sure.
Why? Because the GM is able to do his job and build contracts out the way he wants and build teams out the way that he and the coach agree on. You know what I'm saying? But when you know what it's like, and I think this is the real issue right now. We're in a situation where there is no oversight.
Right.
There's no oversight, right? Think about anybody in life, adult or child. If there is no mentor, if there is no father, if there's nobody that is holding them to a certain standard, even if a parent passed, but the child was taught a certain standard, that still exists, right? Think about somebody who grows up without any of that.
Right.
How chaotic is their decision making, right? How chaotic, right? So logically, kind of thinking this whole process through, Sean is in a situation right now where there is no oversight, none. There's no GM over him. The owner's like, it's Sean's show. I don't know what the heck is going on around here. Like, that's what it is. Right. So if there's no oversight and Sean is welcome to just make up whatever excuse he wants to do whatever he wants, where does the pressure come from to make good decisions, sound decisions, logical decisions? Because if there is no oversight, people will ultimately land on emotional decisions, right? I've studied psychology, body language, all that kind of stuff for years. If people do not have oversight that causes them to think logically, and this has even happened in my life, if I didn't have oversight in my life to cause me to think logically more than emotionally, my life would be in shambles right now. And I think what we're seeing is that when you look at the decisions being made, there is no realistic, logical decision. There's excuses. There's, well, we made this decision because at the time we thought this. No, you made the decision at the time because you felt that. You like the feeling of a coach's culture better than a player's culture. That's why you do it. Right? Because if you were really about coaching players and making these players better and making this franchise better, you'd adapt more than you have. Right? Anybody who wants,
That's the key word, adapt.
Right. Anybody who wants to give Sean credit for giving over play calling duties to Babbage, you can swallow all that.
Yo, bro.
I didn't even mean for that to happen. This is just coming out. You seriously, because this is a guy who's been with Sean for years. Right. This isn't some other coordinator getting hired that comes in with his own systems, being told, hey, you know what? It's your show, man. You run the defense. This is Sean's guy. And as much as we like Babbage, as much as we like what he's about, him and the offensive coordinator are both in the same boat where, look, I don't need either of you to do anything spectacular. I just need you to be creative in figuring out how to employ what I want to employ. That's the bottom line, right? So when everybody goes to watch this season, that's what you're watching is Sean's vision. The run game, what the passing game is going to look like, the limited number of risky passes that have a 50-50 shot of turning out to be big plays or turn out to be interceptions, all of that stuff is going out the window. Sean is trying to limit. Think game 1, week 1 of last year. That's the offense that Sean ultimately wants to run, just with better schematic employment, essentially. But that's his vision. So I'm saying all that to say, can the team still win 8-9 games with that? Yeah. But does Josh like playing that way? Not at all. Not at all. And you're going to force him to do it.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy. He doesn't have that me factor. But like I keep going back to last year. 2 of his best games were 2 of the most boring games, in his words, he's ever played. He likes to be entertained. He likes excitement. He's like a big kid. And I think, you don't want your quarterback to be bored. You don't want him to be mundane. You want him to be thinking. You want him to be engaged. Because when you're not engaged, that's when you miss the little minute details. That's when you miss the nuances of a defense. That's when you're like, you know what, it's routine. I've seen this before. I know where this is going. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just get it over with. You want him to be the hype man. You want him to be excited about what he's doing. And that's how you are with any employee. If I had somebody working for me and they hated what they were doing, I'd be like, yo, what's on your mind? What if there's something I can do to bring you back? Is there something I can do that you're not doing that you want to do? What is your idea? What do you see? But I don't think they're doing that. I think what Josh is doing to make himself enjoy the team game is his own doing against what Sean and them would like him to do. I think they're more so tolerant of Josh Allen's game as opposed to encouraging.
Right. I posted it, but I'm gonna say it too. Shut it, Roy. Roy said, without standards, you end up with boxers that look like curtains and Velcro shoes from Walmart.
Yeah. Side note, we gotta go because I can help you bust this stuff down. But side note, so this is my kid's story for today. So obviously he started school today, and when we were kids, we talk about pay less, we talk about pay away, we talk about what was it? Where he said shoe burner, whatever he said, Walmart. So I got Ken some black and white Nike, I guess Dunks or whatever you call them, and for sneakers they're not that expensive. I think I paid like $85 for them. So Ken comes home from his first day of school, takes them off, and just tosses them in the middle of the room. I'm like, yo, fam, I paid a grip for these shoes, but he's like, what are you talking about? I said, so it's like $85. He was like,
no.
Wow, that's a lot of money, Dad. That's a lot of. I'm like,
he would have got kicked right in his chest, bro. No, there's no way. There's no way. Like, if my children are watching Ray, I will bust you in your chest, boy. Don't you ever in your life. Don't you ever in your life. Yo,
I said,
there's no way.
And this man, he told him that he does this, that, and the third. He gets a PlayStation 5. I'm like,
not with all that.
Right? Who said? We gotta have a conversation,
bruh. No.
Shook his head like, wow, $85.
But that's T's tongue.
I know.
That's T's tongue.
Came out.
T snapped at you like that real quick.
She said, "This is my punishment." I'm like, it ain't mine, so why is he doing it to me?
Yo, Allie is the same way.
I can see it.
Yo, Allie is cutthroat, just like Caitlin. And I be looking at Caitlin every time because like whenever they kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, you
and yep, right. And I look at Caitlin, I'll be like, excellent. Like it's perfect because now I don't even gotta argue no more. Allie, come in the room, get her, get your mother.
Rook to Bishop.
Right.
What's your move?
Oh, that's perfect. So listen. South Buffalo Ray, you're gonna have to hit me up later on. Let me know what I was wrong about, bro.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we take some time to think about these takes specifically, but we've been talking about this stuff for a while.
You know what? That's that. Hey, take it to the comments after the show goes off because
Yeah.
hey, that's what we do. The show, this is after party. After the party, it's after party.
Yeah. Listen, you know Dorothy coming.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I already know Dorothy.
you know
We know Widow coming. We know Dorothy coming.
Yo.
Widow already got. He already got it. He gonna copy and paste later. Watch. He gonna be like Control C, Control V. Okay, checkmate. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what it is. But
I love it.
yeah, so because of what Laura is going through right now, she said, "I think my blood pressure is spiking again. Are we dysfunctional?" I think the head coach's decision making is dysfunctional. I don't think the team itself is. I think so much of what the players have done has been to cover and compensate for those decisions. You know, I think it's part of the reason why you're seeing Josh start to open up the way that he's opening up. I think he's so used to, Josh specifically is used to that coach's culture where you don't, judge the coach. You don't, do anything to show that you're not on board with the coach's, plan or whatever. But even for Josh to say, playfully to some degree, the decision to not play him during the rain is soft. Like if I had to put money on it, I think Sean and Josh had a conversation afterwards just to kind of make sure that stuff like that can't be, translated the wrong way in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, you mean, Mr. I'm very concerned?
Yeah, exactly.
He should talk to himself in that closet.
Exactly.
Nah, Josh, like, you know what? File it. Talk to my people.
Yeah.
Have my people talk to your people, because I'm not talking about this.
He said that's Josh's offense? Oh, no. Oh, no, bro, no. Oh, he didn't say that. We don't have enough time to get into that, but there's so many different ways that I can prove to you it is absolutely not Josh's offense. Josh has input in terms of what he likes to do and what he wants to do. But when you look at what the Bills did even last year with their if you look at what they did last year with their play action stuff, Josh hates play action.
Mm-hmm.
He hates play action. He does not ever want to turn his back to a defense.
And he hates being under center too.
Right. In his mind, he like the reason he likes shotgun is because he wants to see it from start to finish. Just in case somebody is trying to do something different after the snap, he wants to see it all happen and play out, right? And a part of that is because he kind of already has in his mind, and most quarterbacks do this, is not just Josh, but he already has an idea of in his mind based on what he's seeing, pre-snap where he wants to go. It's just he wants to, more immediately or more quickly identify whether or not his thought is right or wrong. So if he's got to turn his back to the defense, that's let me see. It's roughly a half a second to a full second of time that he's losing off of his scanning time to be able to identify that. And furthermore, I don't think deep down Josh trusts his offensive line enough to be comfortable with turning his back to the defense that many times. Right. But are we going to see play action this year? You damn right. You're damn right. The Bills were way too good at it last season for them to just take that out of the offense, right? So when I say that, it's Sean's offense, what I mean is the schematic change from playing 11 personnel, 11, to now playing 12 personnel, right? To the running of the ball more often and how they've, kind of grafted the run game onto the pass game and in the shotgun formations that they do. Like all those different things are different creative ways to bring more of what Sean wants to do to an offense. Because if you look at, and we got to go, we got like 2 minutes. If you look at what Joe Brady learned studying up under what's the dude, Sean Payton. Right. That's the coach that he learned under. Right. That's the offensive guy that he kind of got all of his tricks of the trade from. He took that to LSU. Then he took it to Carolina. Now he's bringing it here. But if you look at what he ran in Carolina, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was Air Coryell's air raid system. Same thing he did in LSU.
Yep.
We're not going to see that this year, especially with these receivers. These are not the type of receivers that you put in an air raid system, right? So that's how we know it's not Joe Brady's system, right? Josh repeatedly talked about how much he loved playing for Daboll in that system, right? So we know that Josh prefers to throw the ball more than anything, right? And that's part of the reason why Daboll never really wanted to run, because he was trying to do what Josh loved doing and doing what Josh was great at, right? That's why they didn't run the ball more, because in Daboll's mind, you can't run too many different ways out of the shotgun, and the offensive line is not good enough to handle that. We saw that the last 2 years. So all of that combined leads you to it's Sean's show. It's what he wants to do. He's just trying to find guys that can employ it in creative ways for him. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to top it off for Laura, I wouldn't say dysfunctional. I think you said it best when you said misguided. That's what it is. These are rookie mistakes that should have been made years ago, as opposed to adapting 5 years ago. 2 years into your tenure, now we got to go through these growing pains. Now, at the year 8 mark, with a 28-year-old Josh Allen and a Keon Coleman who probably won't even see the field as much as people think he is. So that's another shot to the gut. You got nothing at wide receiver, and your top draft pick is probably going to be relegated to the fourth wide receiver on the field. It's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else before we start to close?
I was going to say, for Roy, play action tend to freeze the linebackers because they don't know where the ball is going. It works. It works when the quarterback wants to work it. Josh Allen, you have to allow for a quarterback or somebody that's handling the ball to do what they feel works for them. In theory, it does freeze the linebackers, but when the quarterback doesn't believe in it, when he doesn't want to run it, it's going to be tough to sell it.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. All right, we got just over now we're right at 2 minutes. All right, so let me get us out of here. Yeah, everything's good over there. All right,
Laura, always thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem at all, Laura. Put some money on it. I'll put some wings on it. I guarantee I can get you that. Matter of fact, I got folk that's either played in the NFL or currently connected to the NFL right now that can tell you that's not what it is.
The music's playing, right? Your 90 seconds started.
Huh?
It started already, right?
I know.
Okay.
I know. Outside looking in, about to get some money. But listen, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with my terrible producing in this during this show.
That was excellent.
But you know what? You guys stuck through it, and you stuck with us, and you commented, and we love you for it. Thank you so much for doing that. So for anybody who hasn't done this already, like, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing
Ring-a-ling-a-ling,
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like the one I sent on Monday, right? It was Labor Day, and we didn't have a show, right? So I had to let people know we weren't doing the show. Excuse me, but if you were kind of checking on us, and I get that the notifications don't always show up, covering for you, Laura. But she's gonna kill me later. But just try to check on us once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we put out some shorts, sometimes we got some other stuff going on. You never know, right? Other than that, what do we have left? Okay, so if you want to contact us, if you want to get into our DMs and see what's really going on behind the scenes, you can hit us up on any of our social media. Those links are in the description. Pretty much any time of day you can get to one of us, because you work overnight for the most part. Not completely overnight, but I'm usually in the bed by 10.
I'm usually up at work until 2:30 and back up about 7 to start again.
Okay. I'll just put it like this. There we go. So if you want to hit us up, you can hit us up. Listen, Ree's Tea, man, best tasting tea in town. Best tasting tea in town. I don't know how many times I can say that. Best tasting tea in town. I've been drinking this stuff for years, and they finally putting it out the market. Finally, we've been telling the folk, you need to be selling this. Like, it's too good. It's too good. So anyway, that's all we got. We will be back here Friday. Hopefully, Mac will be back in good health. I might still produce. Who knows? Maybe I just get better and better at it.
You might enjoy it.
Right. Or maybe Junie gets off work early again and he can show up. But listen, it's been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
This is Key.
And we are out of here. Y'all have a great night.
See you.